Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. It was a big announcement yesterday. It got a bit lost in all the election coverage, but longtime Hoopfest director Matt Santangelo announced he is stepping down. That comes after 2 years of COVID cancellations for the big 3-on-3 tournament, and certainly a big deal for the future of that event.
Want to get straight to our Brenna Green. She's joining us now. And Brenna, you spoke with Santangelo today. So how did he seem after announcing such a big decision?
He seemed at peace with everything. He told me that he felt relief last night when he made this announcement. Santangelo has been at the helm for Hoopfest for the last 7 years. He says not to worry. Him stepping down isn't foreshadowing anything for the event. He just needed a change of venue.
I think the overall sentiment is just gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to have played a role like this in the community.
The name Matt Santangelo will always be attached to basketball in Spokane. Since 2014, though, he's doubled down on that legacy, guiding our city's most prominent basketball event.
I've been in many locker rooms in my lifetime. I've been on a lot of successful teams. Few work as hard as this one, if any of them.
But Santangelo says it was time for him to go. He says there's no nefarious reasons why he's stepping down and not to worry about the future of Hoopfest.
It's coming back next year. That's a big thing, and we got to make it special.
He's just ready for a new game to conquer, as he'll be transitioning to a job with Baxter International in medical device sales.
At this point, while looking around as to what my next personal step is and professional step, where is the opportunity? What do I want to learn? Where's the challenge? And certainly this job, especially the last 18 months, had plenty of challenges. But really it's about kind of taking that next step for personal growth. Unfortunately or fortunately, that meant taking a step away from Hoopfest.
Santangelo's legacy with the event will include getting ESPN to do SportsCenter from Hoopfest in 2015, having Kevin Durant attend in 2017, and establishing the Hooptown USA brand, a brand all about what Spokane has accomplished as a basketball city.
When I first got started, Hoopfest was already the greatest 3-on-3 in the world. Like in 2014, it was the largest of its kind, and hands down. It was already a world-class event. And so even when I transitioned into leadership, I kind of looked at it, you could look at it one of two ways. One is, don't mess it up. Like, it only has one direction to go, and that's down, right? That could have been one, certainly, perspective. The perspective I took was like, they're giving me the keys to the Ferrari. Let's go see what it can do.
Now he'll get to see what it can do from a different perspective, as he plans to be a court monitor at future Hoopfests.
It's going to be awesome, because now you appreciate it so much before you kind of see behind the curtain. And now I've seen behind the curtain. So I think it almost gives you a deeper sense of appreciation for what it is.
Matt says he'll still be around for the event to lean on as well for advice, and he has a great analogy for how he envisions that role.
It'll be like going from a parent to a grandparent. Like, I can come in and give everyone sugar, and then I can bounce, as opposed to having to manage it all as the first parent. So maybe that part will be a little bit nice as to where it goes going forward.
Matt told me applications up online right now for that job. So they are actively looking for a new Hoopfest director, and they're hoping to get that hired pretty quickly.
He has certainly left his mark on this event and what it has become under his guidance.
I really think that, I was here back in college when it was a well-known event, but I really think that since he took the helm, it has really expanded and become known much more globally amongst basketball circles.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
The next person certainly has big shoes to fill, that's for sure.
Yes.
Brenna, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, in other news tonight, moving on to our other big story of the day, a 60-year-old Spokane man behind bars after admitting to killing his daughter's ex-boyfriend last year. He claims he killed the 19-year-old because he says he sold his daughter into a sex trafficking organization and he had to rescue her.
Now, police arrested the suspect last week after they found a body in the trunk of his abandoned vehicle. At this time, we are not naming the suspect nor his daughter to protect the minor involved in this case because, again, there are allegations of a sex crime. Now, KREM 2's Amanda Rowley is joining us live from the courthouse tonight with the very latest on the investigation. Amanda?
Well, Spokane Police Department says this is an ongoing investigation. There are a lot of details that they're still working to confirm from the suspect's statements. Now, meantime, the department says people should not be taking the law into their hands. Now, Corporal Nick Briggs told me that's because for the community to work, there needs to be a common thread, and he suggests that thread is the law. Briggs says it may seem like the system doesn't work and victims do not get justice, even admitting he at times has seen these instances, but Briggs insists the law applies to everyone and allows the community to thrive.
When you lose that, when people start taking things into their own hand, there's no equity, there's no justice, and quite frankly, there's no safety. So we cannot, regardless of the circumstances, we have to have the system work. That's what the principles of our community and our country are founded on.
Now, he adds vigilante-style crimes are rare in our area, and Briggs is glad to see the community cares about the news of the Spokane father who reportedly killed his daughter's ex-boyfriend, but he implores people to not rush to judgment since there is still several unconfirmed details in this case. Now, as for the 60-year-old suspect, he remains in Spokane County Jail tonight with a $1 million bond. Reporting from the Spokane County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you. And again, there are a lot of accusations being made in this particular case, so we'll have an even more in-depth report, including some allegations of sex trafficking. We'll have what we know coming up on KREM 2 News at 5 and 6. In the meantime, kids aged 5 to 11 now eligible for the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, both across the country and here in Washington.
This comes after the FDA authorized the shot for that age group, with the CDC recommending the vaccine for younger children yesterday in light of the FDA's decision. Spokane Regional Health Officer Dr. Frank Velasquez said area providers should receive doses of the vaccine in the coming days and weeks. He also urged people to get their children vaccinated and talk to their healthcare provider.
Now, Velasquez also said transmission among children is higher than the rest of the population. We're also getting closer to the holiday season, which will mean more indoor gatherings. So here's what one local mother had to say about getting her kids vaccinated.
Very important. I think that having them around people in my family, especially more vulnerable family members, I mean, it's what I want to do for them also, not just for my kids, but for their safety.
Providers are preparing to get the vaccines ready for children. So coming up new at 5 tonight, we'll have more information about what you should know about the vaccination process for younger children and what a local pediatrician has to say about rolling the vaccine out for kids.
All right, let's take a quick break from the headlines and let's take it outside. Thomas Patrick is in the elements right now as we get ready for our Wednesday evening. Thomas, this was kind of the beginning of what you described as kind of an everyday step down to colder, wetter temperatures, it sounds like.
You were remembering the 7-day from yesterday. That looked literally like a staircase every day. Today being one of our milder days, tomorrow's going to be like that too, but tomorrow will be way more windy than it is today. In fact, we have wind advisories, all the tan shaded areas, including Spokane, the Palouse, through central and southern Washington. Could see wind gusts between 40 and 50 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon and evening. So it will be a considerably windy day and showery for tomorrow. But right now, it's just cloudy skies. You see the overcast skies and the anemometer at Lake Coeur d'Alene not moving all that fast. There also is still a little bit of low cloud cover and even fog at some of the higher elevations. Sherman Pass looking a little bit foggy, at least as of this moment, but there are a few sprinkles kind of around Spokane and to the north. In fact, between the start of this broadcast and now, it had sprinkled, kind of wet the ground, and then dried up since then. So light sprinkles here in Spokane, looks to be a little bit heavier closer towards Mount Spokane. So we're going to track this little batch of rain for tonight, but way more rain for tomorrow and the days ahead. All those details in a few minutes.
Talk to you then, Thomas. Thank you very much. Still to come on KREM 2 News at 4 tonight. We are checking on last night's election results.
I just got to say thank you all so much for standing up to big money.
To get beyond the anger that we see and the frustration that we see.
Plus, we were there to get reaction from candidates as those results rolled in last night.